Coming up on the September 24th edition of Carolina Week, sexual assault. It's still a hot topic on campus, and now the president's involved?
Do you know where all your student fees are going? Into the coffers of student organizations with a wide variety of missions.
And UNC lends a helping hand to college students in Bali. But how? We've got the story.
All that and more. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
Experts say 1 in 5 university women will experience some form of sexual assault during her college days. Good evening, I'm Mary Alice McMillan.
And I'm Kristen Ruffin. Thanks for joining us. It's a big problem. And Student Body President Andrew Powell and Vice President Kyle Villamain are working with student organizations on campus to find ways to combat sexual assault at UNC. Their inspiration, a call from the White House. President Obama and Vice President Biden are sending a clear message in a new campaign.
It's on us, all of us,
to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
White House officials talked with 800 students from across the country on conference calls before announcing the campaign. They want students to help spread the message, including here at Carolina.
UNC has been at the forefront of this effort to combat sexual assault on college campuses.
Project Dina is a student initiative to end sexual assault at UNC through advocacy and education. Student government officials are partnering with Fulser and Project Dina to brainstorm ways to bring the It's On Us campaign to UNC.
We're going to find out how we can take this national momentum and channel at UNC to kind of further and enhance what we're already doing.
Student Body President Andrew Powell, Villamain, Fulser, and her co-chair were all on the conference call. What they want to do now is get you involved. They want to take this idea from Washington, D.C. and bring it here.
The challenge ahead of us is to find a way to bring in a lot of different voices together in the same room, same conversation, and find out where we should go as a campus together.
Fulser says that means getting buy-in from the student body.
Anyone. We want everyone to get involved and step in even if they don't know a whole lot about it.
Student government officials and organization leaders are meeting this week to discuss ideas for the It's On Us campaign at UNC.
The United States and 5 Arab nations continue to carry out airstrikes against ISIS in Iraq and Syria. The strikes have been focused on Raqqa, Syria, what ISIS calls the capital of its Islamic State. A U.S. naval ship in the Persian Gulf launched Tomahawk missiles, and fighter jets dropped bombs targeting training facilities, headquarters, and vehicles. The military also struck buildings belonging to al-Qaeda offshoot group known as Khorasan. Officials say the group was in the final stages of planning attacks on U.S. or European targets. President Obama addressed the United Nations this morning.
Those who continue to fight for a hateful cause will find they are increasingly alone. For we will not succumb to threats, and we will demonstrate that the future belongs to those who build, not those who destroy.
The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI released a statement Tuesday saying the airstrikes could provoke what they call lone wolf attacks, or ISIS sympathizers attacking the U.S. The belief is that those small groups of terrorists would rather target smaller cities.
We all pay fees at the beginning of the year that a student government committee doles out to student groups across campus. Do you know where your money is going? Elizabeth Tu reports.
You're familiar with the routine. At the beginning of each school year, you cough up the money for tuition and fees. Of the nearly $957 each student pays in student fees, $39 goes to fund student groups across campus, adding up to more than $700,000. The money is dispersed by the Student Congress Finance Committee to any group that applies.
Our personal opinions of a group cannot impact how we fund them.
34 groups have received funding approval so far this year, a total of $120,000 allocated from the fees that you pay. But is all the funding justified? Take UNC Chapel Hill Esports, for example, a club for those with a passion for video games. Esports requested more than $3,000 and received the full asking amount. And then there's the group receiving the 4th highest amount of money at more than $8,000, Uncontrollables, an anarchist group. James Hoops, member of the group, says they deserve every bit of it.
We pay a tuition to go to this school, and it's not even like it's not even a small fraction of what we actually should be getting back.
So how do students feel about this?
Like, I certainly wouldn't join that group because I don't follow the same views, so I don't think that I should be paying for them.
Clubs aren't required to justify the money after the Finance Committee allocates it, so there's no way to calculate the return on investment. In Chapel Hill, I'm Elizabeth Chu reporting.
Chabad Student Group, a Jewish club, received the most funding, more than $12,000, followed by College Republicans and UNC Ballroom. And speaking of Chabad, tonight marks the beginning of the Jewish New Year, or Rosh Hashanah as it's called in Hebrew. The holiday, one of the holiest in the Jewish faith, follows the lunar calendar, which means this is the Jewish year 5775. It's tradition to eat apples and honey on the day to symbolize a sweet new year.
Apple released the new iPhone 6 this week, and you might still find people waiting in line to get one. It's been only 7 years since Apple started making iPhones. With the release of the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, there are now more models of the phone than years they've been produced. Apple said it sold 10 million new iPhones in the first weekend. That's 1 million more than when the company released the most recent iPhone. The new phones are thinner and have a bigger screen and are more powerful and efficient than previous models. Customers pre-ordered the iPhone 6 and some stood in line for hours to get one. Sales analysts say this could be a tough upcoming holiday season for Apple's competitors, Samsung, LG, and HTC.
I'm sure you've heard of Bali, even if that's only because of the movie Eat, Pray, Love. Thanks to a group called CEO for Teens, UNC has a connection to this island in Indonesia. Reporter Brenna Sukier has the story.
This is a day Pipit Ari won't forget. It's her graduation day, and it's all thanks to a nonprofit organization called CEO for Teens.
Thank you for CEO for Teens.
CEO for Teens, which stands for Creating Educational Opportunities for Teenagers, provides Balinese teenagers with one-year scholarships to Champuan College, an English and media school in the city of Ubud. Administrators chose Ari as a scholar last year.
My family didn't have enough money to continue my study to higher level. Because at 014, I can continue my study again.
UNC alum Kenny Haysfield founded the program in 2007, and proceeds from UNC events, like the Eve Carson 5K, fund the scholarships. Selected scholars come from families on the margins of poverty and are often the first in their families to receive an education. Champuan College Director Gungtri Mayani says that education extends beyond the classroom.
Education helps them to see what they get in their life in the different perspective.
For Ari, this perspective is inspired by the generosity of CEO for Teens.
I want to collect some money and do the same thing, same as CEO for Teens, helping people who still in need.
And although she's graduating, Ari plans to continue her education and continue helping others follow their dreams too. In Bali, Indonesia, I'm Brenna Sukier reporting.
What a great group. This year, CEO for Teens sponsored 13 teenagers, bringing the group closer to its goal of awarding 100 scholarships in total.
Up close and personal with street riots, protests, and violence.
Who does this for a living? Find out next.
Following us on Twitter at Carolina Week UNC.
Staring contest!
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. HSF.net.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning?
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
The First Amendment is crucial to our democracy, and UNC students celebrated its place in our lives on campus Tuesday. If you stepped foot on campus, chances are you saw a few dozen of these shirts and maybe a few hundred of these flyers. The university celebrated all day long with events like the #YesAll speech, where participants explained why the First Amendment is important to them. Other events included a cappella groups singing controversial songs in the pit, followed by readings from banned books by Chancellor Carol Folt and other campus leaders. Media law professor Tori Ekstrand said it's impossible to overstate the First Amendment's importance.
I think it's important to celebrate First Amendment Day here at the university because it serves as a reminder of the fact that the university is the quintessential marketplace of ideas. If you're not exchanging ideas and thoughts and debate here, there are very few places left that we can do that.
Panel discussions took place throughout the day, creating open dialogue for people, discussing topics ranging from access to public records and hurtful speech. All of these led up to the evening's keynote address by Greg Lukenhoff. UNC student DJ Trevor Daughtry opened the evening's events by playing original music in the spirit of free speech and good beats.
What's in a name? Plenty, according to the folks of the School of Journalism and Mass Communication. Madison Morgan has more.
You might be used to seeing this, but soon you might be seeing this. Susan King is the dean of the school.
Well, changing the name, is a small thing, yet it's a big thing.
But why change? Joanne Sherino is a marketing professor at the school. She thinks the change points to the future.
In fact, we want all of our students, regardless of the media that they're going to go and work in, to ignite the public conversation and lead for the future. And that's part of why we changed the name.
The biggest reason for the change is to make the school's name more inclusive of the various sequences offered.
So PR and advertising and social media and journalism on all forms, interactive media. We as an organization are thinking about the future. We're preparing students to become leaders in the media, all of the media.
The journalism school isn't just this. It's this, this, and this. But the current name doesn't acknowledge these fields. Senior PR major Lauren Mayfield agrees.
So I feel like in saying media, you narrow it down to a specific type of communication and focus other than like something so broad.
The J-School faculty has approved the new name. It's now up to the Board of Trustees to vote. In Chapel Hill, I'm Madison Morgan.
Another goal is to help change the overall perception of the industry. I'm okay with that revamp.
Yeah, me too. And that's important because when it comes to reporting the news, it's not looking so good for the media. A recent Gallup poll found that trust in the news reporting among Americans is at an all-time low. Only 40% of those surveyed believe that newspapers, radio, and television report the news fully, accurately, and fairly. The biggest surprise, even among Democrats who traditionally have more confidence in the media, trust dropped to 54%. Republicans and independents have even lower levels of trust. Republicans are at 27%, with independents at 38%. After hosting the World Cup, Brazil is now focusing on the 2016 Summer Olympic Games. Major events like these bring a slew of different political and human rights issues into focus as well. One group of activists in the country has been covering what it calls corruption and violence in Brazil in a way that mainstream media there won't. You wouldn't see a shot like this on Brazil's mainstream media outlets, but one group of activist journalists called the Media Ninja has its own coverage style. UNC master's student Andrew Stern is making a documentary about the group.
And what they are is essentially a network of independent journalists spread out all across Brazil that cover things that the mainstream media in Brazil do not cover.
These media ninja, which stands for independent narratives in action and journalism, give the side of the story members charge the government won't show. Riots in the streets, police violence, and protests.
So they would actually go into the protests to cover what was happening, as they say, taking it to the streets.
The ninja live and breathe activist journalism. They live communally, in the same houses, with the same goal.
I think one of the biggest lessons that we can take away from them is, as journalists, we don't necessarily have to be neutral.
And Stern says the media ninja aren't always neutral, but their reporting does demonstrate certain realities of Brazilian life the public won't see anywhere else. Follow the reporting of the Media Ninja on their website, medianinja.org.
With fall here, we could be more prone to getting sick. Have you gotten your flu shot yet? UNC is holding a flu clinic for all university-identified healthcare workers. To be eligible to receive the walk-in flu vaccination, you must be a part of UNC's immunization review program. If you are a university employee, you can walk in this Friday from 9 a.m. until noon, and from 1 to 3. The clinic is being held at the University Employee Occupational Health Clinic at 145 North Medical Drive. Can we put away the shorts and flip-flops for good, and will we need to trade them in for rain boots and snow boots?
Drew Day has the weather next.
That's low and below. Look, he's blushing. Seriously. Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
And welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Drew Day. Thank you so much for staying with us. It was cloudy, rainy, and dreary across the state this afternoon. There was lots of rain showers over the area, and you can see on the visible satellite just how thick the cloud cover was out there today with all the cloud cover east of the mountains. The culprit is this area of low pressure that's sitting offshore. It's bringing in moisture off of the Atlantic, and we have in the upper levels of the atmosphere a northeasterly wind. That's bringing in the colder air from the north. So it's those two combinations that gave us the cold and dreary weather out there today. Now we'll take a look at the nationwide picture, and you can see the extent of all the cloud cover, but look just off to our west of the mountains, it's sunny and there aren't any clouds. That's because right now we're in what we call a cold air damming situation, where cold air is very shallow, and so it isn't able to get high enough in the atmosphere to go over the mountains to go west of the Appalachians, and so it stays trapped over North Carolina, which is a situation that is unique to our geography here. But usually when we're in these types of situations, they're very hard to get rid of. But it looks like the good news here is that we will we'll start to warm up as we head later into the week once we get through tomorrow. Now, the 24-hour rainfall totals, we've had an inch here in Chapel Hill, about 1 2/3 in Raleigh, much more higher totals to the east along I-95 and points eastward, with 1 2/3 in Rocky Mountain, 1 3/4 in Goldsboro. Now, this evening, we have this area of low pressure pressure. It will remain offshore throughout the evening, and so the clouds will continue as well as the rain. The rain has already ended to the south and the southern part of the state, but here in the triangle and points to the north, it will remain throughout the rest of the evening, slowly ending from south to north. As you're waking up tomorrow morning, we'll have mostly cloudy skies over the area, a cool start to the day, and as we head into the evening, the rain will have come to an end. I think the showers will end right by 8 a.m. So usually in the afternoon, we'll start to see more sunshine breaking through. Hopefully, if we can get rid of the cloud cover over the area, and the sunshine will be our best ally in getting rid of the cooler temperatures and starting to see some sunshine tomorrow. And as you're waking up Friday morning, will be cool as well. But for this evening, temperatures will be in the upper 50s, cool across the area. The showers in the triangle area and points northward. Tomorrow afternoon, upper 60s with mostly cloudy skies, still cool. By 8 a.m., temperatures will be in the upper 50s, 67 at lunchtime, and tomorrow evening, 64. Again, cloudy through the majority of the day, maybe some sunshine in a few locations. Again, the sun may help us to see some cloud cover tomorrow, but that really is up for some debate right now. So if we see some sunshine tomorrow, it'll certainly be some good news, but don't really expect it. Now, as we take a look at the 5-day forecast now, once we get through tomorrow with the upper 60s and the dreary conditions in the morning, it looks like temperatures will start to return closer to normal with temperatures in the 70s. 79 is our normal high for this time of year, so it looks like we'll be cool here the next few days.
Well, that sounds great. I'm kind of looking forward to getting rid of the rain.
Yeah, it's certainly depressing when we don't see the sunshine. It really has an effect on all of our moods.
Yes, and our hair.
Yes, that's true as well.
Thank you so much, Drew.
All right, you're welcome.
Can the Heels handle the hype at Death Valley? One Tar Heel receiver believes the Heels are up to the challenge. Alana Albrecht is next with sports.
Hello, Kim.
Yeah, really.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Nah, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Alana Albrecht with sports. It's the game no one wants to talk about. ECU beat Carolina 70-41 in Greenville Saturday, and it was the biggest loss in Tar Heel history. Hopefully this beating is going to serve as extra motivation heading into Death Valley Saturday. The team needs to come together this week, but Fedora's QB rotation leaves fans scratching their heads. The back and forth between Marquise Williams and Mitch Trubisky leaves the team without a solid rhythm. The front line lacks experience as freshman Jared Cohen replaces junior offensive guard Landon Turner, who's injured. The subpar defense is looking to big playmakers like senior safety Tim Scott to lead the team. Wide receiver Quinshaw Davis is from South Carolina and says Memorial Stadium can be intimidating.
It's different. And for the guys who haven't been there, I'm ready to see their faces when they get there. It's crazy.
Last season, Death Valley averaged nearly 79,000 fans per game. The Carolina community continues to celebrate recovery with women's head basketball coach Sylvia Hatchell. Chapel Hill turned it pink on Tuesday as the Pink Heels National Tour rolled into town for a day-long celebration with the coach who fought and beat leukemia last year. As she's done a number of times, Hatchell praised her doctors and nurses at the Lineberger Cancer Center. Now she's ready for some basketball. A lot of Tar Heels go pro, and the women's soccer program at UNC is especially known for producing prodigies. I caught up with soccer superstar Crystal Dunn this week.
Former Tar Heel Crystal Dunn is making a name for herself in the world of professional soccer. She left UNC in the spring of 2013 to play for the Washington Spirit in DC and is a member of the women's national team. Dunn said her transition from D1 to professional athlete has been challenging.
The intensity level is a little bit more. It's like coming into a new environment all the same. I mean, from high school to college, it was rough, and from college into the pros, it's going to be different. I mean, the girls are bigger, stronger, faster, and it's pretty much World War III every time you step on the field.
Although she's no longer in Chapel Hill, she still embraces the Carolina way.
Being a Tar Heel, we've always been taught to pretty much work hard. You can always control your work ethic, and I think for me, I carry that every single day. Every time I step on the field, I'm always like, I might have a bad touch, I might have a bad game, but I can always control how hard I work and working hard for all my teammates.
UNC has come under scrutiny for players leaving without finishing their degrees. Dunn has her own thoughts.
I feel like you're in school to find out what you really want to do in life and find your passion. And I think if some people can make it professionally and make a good living off of it, why not?
And Dunn's plan?
I'm definitely going to come back and graduate, and I look forward to it.
But before she graduates, Dunn and the team hope to continue making a mark at the 2015 World Cup in Canada.
While at UNC, Dunn led the Heels to a national championship, was ACC Athlete of the Year, National Player of the Year, and All-American. Wow, it really is nice to see Coach Sylvia Hatchell honored like that. She is the most winningest active women's basketball coach.
She's such an inspiration. Thanks, Elena.
From dogs to drummers, this weekend was full of competition.
We'll tell you who took Best in Show. That's next.
You play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
It's about time man's best friend got some recognition. The Carborough Recreation and Parks Department put it on Kids Dog Show this weekend. It's fun for the whole family. Children aged 4 to 14 participated in the show with their dogs, while parents cheered on from the sidelines. Before the show, professional dog trainer Barbara Long showed the families tricks to teach their dogs at home. Judges scored each dog on categories like best costume, best trick, and even most distracted. The first, second, and third place pooches from each category received a ribbon, a certificate, and a toy of their choice.
And we don't want to be guilty of ageism. How about a little more grown-up entertainment? When the sun went down on Saturday, the volume went up at the 2014 Triangle Corporate Battle of the Bands to benefit the homeless. The Durham advertising agency McKinney hosted the 8th annual battle. Urban Ministries Executive Director Patrice Nelson had one message.
No matter who you are, every person deserves the dignity of a safe place to live.
WRAL anchor Gerald Owens hosted the battle, and local music professionals did the judging. 9 companies participated at the American Tobacco campus, and the winner was the Deep South All-Stars of Deep South Entertainment.
That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night, everyone.